Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition Days of Decision 3 Combined Game Playthrough number 2. This is going to be the September-October turn, 1940. The last turn saw probably one of the longest turns I've done in this game. It actually went a total of 30 impulses, which was just bizarre, beyond bizarre. And we saw a lot of developments last turn. I mean, there was some Italy entered the war, Yugoslavia went down, the Japanese actually got in a decent attack for once. And so let's get right into this turn. First thing I want to do is I want to go over U.S. entry. Now, right now, we're looking at a raw total for Germany of 116, a raw total for Italy of 30, and a raw total for Japan of 65. Now, if you plug that into the formulas, which for the fascists is the target major powers U.S. entry plus half all other fascists minus U.S. minus half all other major powers. Germany's U.S. entry comes in at 42. The Italian U.S. entry comes in at -1, and the Japanese U.S. entry comes in at 16.5. Now, was that 2 or 3 turns ago? I think I calculated it, and U.S. entry for Germany was 30, for Italy was -14, and for Japan was 4.5. So, the earliest the U.S. can take action on U.S. entry is a German U.S. entry of 45. So we're actually getting pretty close to the U.S. being able to actually implement some of the U.S. entry options that pertain to Germany anyways. I think the Japanese one is 30 or 35. I'd have to go check, but they're still a little bit ways away from that. One of the goals of the fascists in this game has been to try to keep the United States out of the war as long as possible. And they've kind of tempered what they've been doing to try to make that happen. So it's working as far as the Italians and the Japanese go, but not so much for the Germans. But the Germans are probably the most aggressive of the fascist powers, so it's to be expected. Okay, let's go and take a look at starting money for the major powers. Okay, starting money for Germany is at -8. For Japan, it's at -2. Italy, -3. So the fascists are generally all in the negative right now. The Soviets are at 0. The Commonwealth is at 0. The U.S. is at -1. China's at 0. And Free France is at -1. I have looked to see what the major powers would like to implement for options this turn. There are 3 major powers that owe... There are 3 major powers that actually owe political options, so I would expect all 3 of those to bid. We also have the Commonwealth getting bonus bid points, as well as the USSR. So that being said, let's take a look what we got here. We got the United States bidding 6. Yeah, that's unusual, but I'll explain when we get to it. The Commonwealth bidding 1. The Soviets bidding 1, the Japanese bidding 1, the Italians bidding 1, and the Germans bidding 1, even though they don't really expect to actually get an option. So let's go over to the initiative position track and see how this pans out. Let's take a little bit of the zoom out of this. Alright, there we go. So we can see the political effectiveness track here, and the initiative position track here. So we have the U.S. bidding 6. Now the reason why they bid 6 is they want to get a treaty with the Commonwealth, but they don't want the Commonwealth paying for it. And since it's going to be a level 2 treaty, the Commonwealth would actually have to pay for it at this point. So they've decided the Commonwealth would be better off actually using their money to build ships and planes and all that good stuff to fight the fascists. So that being said, the U.S. bid 6. They're getting a +4. That's going to give them 10. That will put them in first. The Commonwealth bid 1. They're going to get 6 bonus bid points from last turn. Their political effectiveness is bonus bid points. That's 7 plus 2 for their current position is 9. That's going to put them in second. The Soviets bid 1. They're going to get 4 for their bonus bid points because they're in the 4th spot for political effectiveness. That's going to give them 5. The current position is 6. That's another one. That'll be 6. That'll put them in third. The Japanese bid 1. They're going to get a plus 3 for their current position, which is going to give them 4. The Italians also bid 1. They're going to get a plus 3 for their current position, which is a 4 as well. That's a tie. We'll break the tie by looking at their political effectiveness. The Japanese are a 4. The Italians are a 3, so the Japanese will break that tie, and they will be in 4th. The Italians will be in 5th. And the Germans bidding 1, get plus 2 is 3. We'll put them in 6. Something I don't recall we've seen too often is the Germans way down on the initiative position track. So the first last card will go US. The second last card will go Germany. And the French, who are non-bidder, a free French rather, get a plus 1. That'll put them in 7th, and the Chinese will be in 8th with 0. All right, let's go and take a look and see what the U.S. has in mind. The United States is going to offer the Commonwealth a level 2 treaty. Now, we won't do anything here until we get to the Commonwealth. Until that happens, none of these effects, the minor country effects and the U.S. entry, none of that actually happens. And I'll also have to apply the treaty chart. So that being said, the U.S. will be done. We do not roll to end the political phase, so I'm not going to bother because there's a plus 1 to the die. We'll go right down to the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth, I'm pretty sure, figure this out, they're going to agree to a proposal right there. Doesn't cost them any money or anything like that. So the U.S. and the Commonwealth have signed a level 2 treaty. I'm going to get the minor country effects put out as well as the U.S. entry recorded. And now keep in mind, because the U.S. is signing this treaty, that's actually going to damp down U.S. entry for Germany a little bit, depending on what they get for war with the Democrat role. But this is why you don't see, if the fascists are politically inactive, that's why you don't see a spiraling up of U.S. entry. Okay, anyways, so I'll do that, and I'll be back in a second with the U.S. activating minor. Now that I have everything put out for minor effects and recorded U.S. entry, it's time for the U.S. to activate a minor. And I think they're going to activate Spain. I think they're going to try to take a chance and activate Spain here. There they are right there. So I will grab the minor effects markers, head over to the status display, and we'll see what's up. So what do we got here? We got a -2 for Germany. We have a -1 for China. We have a 1 for the Soviet Union. A -5 for Italy. Oh yeah. And a 3 for the U.S. Well, the 1s obviously don't do anything. We'll just get rid of them. So now, let's see what we're going to do here. I think we'll do the -2 German first. We'll just take care of that. That's just going to push it straight back to its original starting hex. Now, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I do the Italian, it's only going to move it 1 hex because it doesn't affect it beyond 11 hexes. So we'll do the Italian. And that's the 11th hex, and that's where it stops. Then we'll activate the U.S., and that's going to draw it towards America, which is over this way. So we'll just chug over that way 1 hex, and now they're kind of happy with that. That's not bad. So the last thing we're going to do, I have to go chase my dice, is we will roll to see if the Commonwealth pisses off the rest of the board, and ends the political phase. Oh, that's an 8. Get over there so you can see it. Well, it was an 8. Anyways, 8 is not enough to end the political phase, and we will move on. We'll see who's up next. All right, so we're down. All right, well, we're down to the Soviets. The Soviets owe a declaration of war option for the occupation of Eastern Poland. All the minor effects, all that's already been taken care of. So all we have to do, and they don't get to activate a minor. So all we have to do is roll a die, and they already spent the money, so there's nothing for them to do other than roll a die to see if they end the political phase. So let's give it a go. Oh, shoot. That's a 9. And I have to pick up some ships. Hey, boy. Alright, now that we restacked Leningrad, we can move on. Alright, so that's it for the Soviets. And now we're moving down to Japan. The Japanese are going to try to sign a minor alliance with Chile. They got their eye on Chile, so they want to try to sign a minor alliance with him. I don't believe they're one of the ones. No, they do not owe anything. So we have to do a calculation for this. And the calculation works out something like this. We add 1 to the result for each factory. Oh, okay. First, the prerequisites, the minor, blah, blah, blah. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It's the alliances broken for another alliance. You can always break one of your alliance. Okay. It's not in civil war. It's not been declared war on. It has a marker. Doesn't have any alliances at this time. So, all right. So we add 1 to the result for each factory or resource marker that Japan has in Chile. They have 1, so that's 1. Add the miner's willpower, which I forgot what it is. Okay, now that I looked it up, Chile's willpower is 5, so that's going to be a +6. I'm going to subtract Japan's initiative position, which is 4, so that's a +2. Subtract the distance in hexes on the status display between Japan and the miners, and that's 1 hex, so that's a +1. The miner is not hostile to us, and we're not trying to break an alliance. If the result is more than 0, the alliance is successful. Okay, so we have a +1 to the die. We can't roll a 0. Okay, it doesn't really matter. The alliance is signed. Now I'm going to go through and apply the treaty chart and record this and pay the money, and I'll be back with Japan activating a minor. Alright, we're back, and it's time for Japan to activate a minor. They're going to activate Chile, strangely enough. So I'll grab the markers and head over to the status display. You can see where Chile is. It's right there next to Japan. So let's see what we got. We got a +3 for Japan. We got a 1 for America. America. We got a 1 for Italy. Boo. And a 2 for the fascists. The Germans. All right, so the 1s are not going to do anything. Well, actually, no, it's going to cost at least 2 to drag Chile down to Italy, and Italy cannot control Chile anyways, so it doesn't matter. So those are just going to get blown off. Now we got 2 for the Germans and 3 for the Japanese. We're going to do the Japanese first. So that will move the marker under Japan because it's 2 for the hex, 1 for the boundary, -1 moving towards a major power that can control the minor. That's actually a cost of 2. Now the 2 German, this could be problematic, but I think they'll be okay. It's 2 for the hex, 1 for the border, which is 3, -1 moving towards a major power that can control the minor, which is 2, but +1 for leaving a hex stacked with a major power that can control the minor. So it's going to be 3 to get to this hex. So this 2 is not enough, and that is the end of that. Now, last thing for Japan to do is roll a die and see if the political phase ends. We should have moved the marker down to here. So we've had 1, 2, 3 previous political options played. So it's going to be a +2 to the die. 1 does indeed end the political phase. So, like the Germans had anticipated, they did not get an option this turn, and neither did the Italians. So I will note down that they will get bonus bid points. For the Germans, that's going to be a whopping +8, and the Italians will be a +3. And we will move on from there. I believe we will do initiative, weather, and then take a look at reinforcements. All right, let's roll initiative and see what we get. Again, we have red die for the communists, blue for the Democrats, and white for the fascists. So let's see what we get. Okay, undoubtedly the fascists won, but let's see, the communists are second, and the Democrats are third due to the initiative modifiers, which you see down here. You have the fascists at a +2, the communists at a +1, and the poor old Democrats at a -1. So now the fascists got to decide. There's no modifier to the weather roll for next turn, and I think the weather is about 50-50, good to bad. Don't really think it makes much of a difference to the fascists for the Germans or even the Italians. Well, I think they want to go first. So the fascists will go first. The Democrats and the communists, I think they're just going to keep their current order. And that's a lot to do with what's going on in China. So the Democrats will be there and the communists will be there. So let me grab the weather chart. Never fails whenever I need something that's at the other end of the table. Alright, weather chart. September, October. Yeah, the weather can get nasty, or it could be good. Let's see what we get. A 5, it's like middle of the road. Okay, rain in the Arctic, rain in North Monsoon, fair everywhere else. The impulse marker moves up 1. So we got rain in the Arctic, rain in North Monsoon. The impulse marker will be moving up 1. Let's go take a look at reinforcements. I actually spent a little bit of time in organizing this stuff for this turn. There we go. So I got a big stack of Commonwealth stuff here. And what we have is, I'll just read them off. We got a carrier, the Formidable, going on board. We have 3 convoy points, a pilot, an anti-aircraft battery, the 7-3 that got shattered last turn, infantry corps, and an Egyptian territorial unit. So that's the Commonwealth. The Italians, they lost Vittorio Veneto last turn, but they're getting the Roma this turn. So they're getting the Roma. They're also getting a amphibious unit. They're getting a pretty good naval bomber. That's a 3-3 naval bomber. That's pretty good, range 9. And the Cario Duilio coming on map. The Free French are getting a transport into the construction pool. They will probably build that. And the Syria territorial will be going on map. The Chinese are getting a whole bunch of units. We're getting an artillery unit. We're getting a communist 4-1 garrison army. We're getting a 4-2 nationalist garrison infantry army. And we're getting the Lan Chao militia army. So the Chinese are actually getting a pretty good chunk of troops. The Soviets are getting 3 convoy points and an artillery unit. The Americans are getting the New York on map, 3 convoy points. The Trenton, the light cruiser, I think. Is it a light cruiser? Yep, it's a light cruiser. It's going on map. And the carrier Hornet going in the construction pool. So these guys are on map. The Japanese are getting only 3 convoy points. The Germans are getting a pretty good combat air group. They're getting a pilot. They're getting a sub. They're getting a raider. And they're getting a pretty good fighter. All that's going on map. I would assume the pilot will probably be used to put that on map. Oh yeah, they also got a few more things here. We got a light cruiser going into the construction pool. And we got a motorized division and a SS mechanized corps, which is a pretty good unit. So I will get these guys on the map and I'll come back with the first impulse. Okay, this is the first impulse, and the fascists are going first. We'll start with Germany. Germany is declaring war on Greece. They already paid for it. I already put all the effects out. So we'll just start it out. Also, they're taking a land action, paid the oil. The Italians are also going to take a land action, to pay the oil for that. So I'll do Greece, and then I'll probably move down to Africa, and then after that we'll head over to Asia. Okay, well, there won't be much going on in North Monsoon with rain, but the Japanese might be able to get one attack in. We'll see. Alright, so first thing we do is we do movement, because we're not going to have any port attacks, naval air missions, naval movement, no naval combat, no strategic bombardment. We're not going to have any ground strikes. Rail movement. I don't see any rail movement. Land movement. Alright, so let me peel off this fighter. He's going to come here. And he's going to come here. And that's going to be it for land movement. Now what we got here is we got a 8 points defending. So it's going to be, add all that, what I got up here, it comes to 46 to 8 is 5 to 1. And that's going to be on the salt table. What's the hex? Oh yeah, that's going to definitely be on the assault table. 5 to 1. Straight up roll. Could be a quick battle. I'll roll it over here. Well, that's not bad. Okay, the roll was a 6 on the 5 to 1 assault table, and a 6 is cross 2S, so the Greeks are dead. Put them over here for now, and half the German units remain face up. Let's see. These 3 obviously. Oh, actually that one doesn't need to be. That one can be face down. So there's 1. These 2. We're going to go with the infantry. Because it's really not going to make much difference down there. We'll leave those. He'll go there. And that's it. That's it for that. Now we'll head on down to Africa. And again, we're just going to skip right over to land movement. So let's see what we got here. I think Balboa will go here. And this guy will go here. He'll go here. And I'll leave both right there. So the Italians, we're looking at 6 points defending. They have a total of 9, 10, 11. Oh, do we have any ground strikes? 11. 7 is 18 to 6. Yeah, we're going to do a ground strike before we do all that. Anything the Italians can get to help them out is a good thing. There's no Commonwealth air power down here. That's something they're going to have to change. Alright, so we got a 2. We got 2 units. Come over here. 2 units to roll for. The red will be the top, and the white will be the bottom, because I can't find my green die. Oh, way over there. All right. The red is the top, and the white is the bottom, and we're looking for 2s. 10 and a 6 don't cut it. So the air support for the Italians failed yet again. So we have a 3-to-1. This will be on the blitz table. We'll use HQ support, and Gort will counter. So it's going to be a 3-to-1 straight up. Three to one straight up. Not exactly great odds. On the blitz table, that's a 7. 3-to-1, 7. Star, 1R. So 1 dies, 1 has to retreat. And, not star, cross. And half the Italian units remain face up. So this is going to be interesting. So 1 unit has to retreat, 1 dies. I think the territorial is going to die. We'll retreat the artillery. Half, what do we got? We got 5, so that's a total of, well, this is still going to stymie the offensive, sort of. Let's see, we're going to occupy with that unit, this unit, and this unit, and we got to have a total of 2 flipped over. Oh, that's a, I guess we're just going to flip them over. And that's probably going to do it for offensive, and all these will occupy the hex. Because all these guys are flipped over now, I don't think the Italians are going to be able to do much more. Now let's head over to Asia and see what happens over there. Okay, here we are in Asia. The Japanese are also taking a land impulse. You got 2 ground strikes and 1 land movement that they did. That's probably going to be it for them. So let's do the ground strikes first. Let's come over here to Mongolia. I got to grab some dice. Alright, so we'll do the 2 first. That's this guy right here. We got 2 factors of ground striking. We got Mao, a militia, and an artillery unit. So the green is the top, the red is the middle, and the white is the bottom. And this is top to bottom. I forgot what I said. Green top, white middle, red bottom. Green top, white middle, red bottom. It doesn't matter. None of them are affected. So they will all be right here. And he's got to fly home. And right here we got a ground strike. Pair of 1s. The red is the top. And again, the Japanese air power has completely failed. Now, we have a 2-to-1 attack here. Now, Mao could add this in, and it would make it a 3-to-2 attack. They're going to use, the Japanese are going to use HQ benefits, and now Mao's going to counter with that guy. HQ benefits. So that all negates that. Here they'll use their artillery to bombard. So that's going to make the odds 3-to-2. 3-to-2. Not a very good attack on the assault. Let's see what Japan gets. Could be really bad. All right. Oh, let me check one thing on that. Excuse me. I just checked the artillery rules. So we'll roll a die and see what happens on 3 to 2. And that is a 7. 3 to 2 with a 7. Let's see what we got here. 3 to 2 with a 7 is a 1-1. Not exactly the best odds, the best option possible for Japan, but I guess still take it, I guess. All right, so I'll see what we're going to do here. So obviously the communists are going to lose this. And I think the Japanese will lose the militia. Yeah, 3-3 militia sounds good. Do we get another militia here? No, we don't want to lose that. How about this one? Yeah, probably not. All right, so we're good with that. All the Japanese units are turned face down. So that will be another turn in China. That is gone bleh. For Japan. The Japanese are really choking it big time. But I guess that's the way China is. Nothing moves fast in China. It's just a slow slog. Okay, I will come back in a few seconds with what the Democrats did. The Commonwealth will be taking a naval, obviously, to get her fleet out, protect her convoys. And I think the Chinese and the Soviets will be doing a combined, and the Chinese Democrats will be doing a land. Don't think the Free French are doing anything because they don't have any transports. But anyways, I'll come back with a brief summary. Okay, the Commonwealth got her fleets out. Got some convoy escorts going on up there in the Atlantic. Didn't really put anything out in the Med because they just don't want to get butchered. The Commonwealth will have to decide this turn whether or not they're going to try to continue running convoys through the Mediterranean or not. I would say probably they're going to withdraw them. The Chinese and the Chinese Communists didn't do too much. They just moved a couple of units. The Communists were really happy with that botched attack that the Japanese made. Other than that, the Greek fleet redeployed to Egypt. And they activated their reserve unit in Athens. And I think that is just about it. So we came back to the fascist impulse. I rolled for weather. I rolled a 1. So the Germans will be taking a land impulse. I'm not sure. I think the Italians might be doing a naval impulse. Japan will be doing a land impulse. Yeah, I think the Italians are going to be doing a naval, and they will pay oil as they go. It's probably just going to get their subs out, I think. Which I will do right now. And there they are. I don't think they're going to risk anything. Oh, and you know what? They will fly their naval air out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And maybe I can catch a convoy point or two. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right. That's it. For the Italians, they got nothing going on in Egypt because everything's flipped over, so waste of time. Okay, so let's go to Greece and see what's going to go on there. It's just going to be some movement, I think. So it's 2 for those, so that's 2, 4. That's going to be 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. This is where we run into a roadblock. Okay, I think that's it. That was fun. All right, let's head on over to China. So what's going to go on over here? I think we might have an attack or two. This is where I'll take a look at this and I'll be right back. Okay, Japan's taking a land, but before that she does that, she's going to align Chile. Chile was stacked with Japan. Japan does have a alliance with Chile, so she is aligning Chile and bringing her into the conflict. That adds a few land units, 3 ships, and a convoy point. So, and plus it might give us something for America to be distracted by. All right, let's go take a look, see what Japan's going to do in China. I went and did the math here. We got a 3-to-1 here. Now, the Chinese could add this, right? They have a 1-factor tactical here on this fighter, but it makes it 9. There's 27 attacking factors here, so it's still going to be 3-to-1. No matter what the Chinese do, it's going to be 3-to-1. Unfortunately for Japan, they don't have any armor, so it will be on the assault table. However, they will use HQ benefits, which will give them a +1. They also have a scary 3-to-1 attack here. You got 10 factors here, 4.5 here, which is 14.5, 2, 4, which is 3-to-1. They have 2 3-to-1 attacks. Both of them on the assault table. If I don't lose my chart, then I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so we'll do the 3-to-1 +1 first. See what that one gets. Let's see how bad Japan chokes on this. 3-to-1 +1. That's a 7, which is 8. That is -1S. So the Chinese lose 1 unit. 1 unit is shattered. And the Japanese get the hex. So that's this one right here. So they lose 1 unit. They're going to lose. This one's going to be shattered. This one's going to die. Okay, so all these Japanese units, unfortunately for Japan, are going to be turned face down. So let's see, we're going to move him in here. Probably the artillery is going to go there. We'll leave the HQ here. We'll leave the artillery there as well. Actually, we can leave them all there. We'll occupy with this 183. I think that will probably be good enough. I don't think, no. There, that looks better. That's good. All right, now we got a scary 3-to-1 for Japan right here. This could be super costly. All right, let's see what they roll. 3-to-1 straight up. A 7. I guess they'll take it. 2 7s in a row. 1, 2. 1 Japanese unit eliminated, 2 Chinese units eliminated. So both of these are eliminated. The Japanese unit that will be eliminated will be the Fukuoka militia. Japan will not get a cadre for that because it's not next to a headquarters. All the Japanese units will be face down, but that's all right. We'll occupy with this guy. We'll keep him here. And we'll keep the 5-3 right there. And that's good. Japan's happy with that turn. That was not a bad turn from Japan's perspective. They now have Canton isolated. Okay, so they occupy here. All these Japanese units are now face down, but Canton is isolated, which they're okay with that. All right. I think that wraps it up. Oh, no, we have a I almost forgot. We have a potential for a couple of Italian surface actions here, or convoy actions. First one we'll do is in the Eastern Mediterranean. We got to roll search dice, see if those naval air units find some convoy points. Roll the 10, forget that. Ain't gonna find nothing. So that's the end of that, because that flips that unit over. And over here, with some Italian subs, we're flipping a unit over. We'll roll some dice. 4. Yeah, it's a -1 to the die because of convoy points. But there's not 10 here. It's every 10 plus, or it's 10. I gotta check that out. Okay, after looking at this, it is 10 points or fraction thereof, so there will be a -1 to the search roll for the Italians, which is a 3, which means this box did find them guys. Now they didn't find anybody. They rolled a 4. So the difference is them, that's a 4, and 3, 7. That's 3. That's 3 surprise points, which is 2. Which you can only spend 3. So you can only spend 2. So it doesn't make any difference. We have a total of 3 sub-factors. They have ASW of 1 point. So 1 ASW against 2 subs, nothing. 3 subs against 1 ship. Or 1 ship, it's 1 ship, is an abort. So they abort. So we got these convoy points for the Commonwealth, got aborted. I'll just put them up there, and that's the end of that sub action. That French convoy point is actually a Vichy, dragging in the resource from Algeria. Not that it matters too much. So that's the end of the fascists. We'll move on to the Democrats. I think the Commonwealth is probably going to take a land action this turn, or combined rather. They got to get some transports going here and there. I don't think they're going to do anything else. They would rather see what the Italians do before they commit their naval units anywheres. All right, so I will come back with a summary of what the Communists and the Democrats did and what the weather roll for the next set of impulses will be. Okay, the weather roll was a 7, so now we have storm and north monsoon. Asia's pretty much going to be a pass at this point, so we'll concentrate on Europe. The Italians are... I don't really think they want to do... They're just going to do a sub-action in the... That doesn't even matter anymore. The transports are gone. Do we risk the fleet yet? Not yet. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, we'll... Yeah. Is it worth the oil? Let's see. Yeah, the Italians are going to take a naval. They're sending their fleet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we can go 5. All right. They're sending their fleet into the Eastern Med to try to kill some convoy points. If they find the British, their convoy points are dead. I'm just going to take them off because there's so many factors there. But we got some sub-action here in the Atlantic. Let's see what happens. All right, we'll roll some dice. So, everybody found everybody. But the Germans are not going to have enough surprise points to be able to use a sub-action. So they're going to decline combat, which when you have just subs, that's what you can do. That is one of your options as a sub, not commit any of your subs. All right, over here, I got the Italian fleet. Let's see what they do. Well, they have naval air, so that's going to give them a +1. So they did indeed find the convoys. I'm just going to kill them because it's not even worth figuring out. There's so many factors there. And the Italians do something useful this turn. And I think that's about it. Yep. The Germans rebased a couple of aircraft, and that was it for that. And they're going to... And then I can't rail those, so it won't be necessary. And I think that's the end of the fascist turn. We'll move on to the Democrats. Well, the home fleet's committed. Do we commit the Mediterranean fleet to try to get the Italians? And I think the answer to that is not yet. We have reinforcements coming from the east. So we will wait until they show up from the Red Sea, and then it will be much more advantageous for the Commonwealth to commit their naval forces in the Mediterranean. In the meantime, the Italians are trapped there, so it really doesn't matter too much to them. Okay, so that's the end of the Democrats. Communists, yeah, don't really have too much to do. Everything looks good from their perspective. Well, they're done. Back to the fascists. Let's roll weather. The weather roll is another 7, which is storm and north monsoon. Everything else is fair. The Germans are going to take a combined impulse again. And I think they'll pay as they go, which will probably be nothing. So this guy's going to go 2. He's going to go here. He's going to go there. And I think we got 1 attack. 16. 28. We're going to do a ground strike with the fighter and ground support with the bomber. Let's see if the ground strike with the fighter does anything. There's only 1 face-up unit there. Oh, a 9 don't hit anything. So we got 28 to 7. We have a +1 for a flipped over unit, and we'll commit HQ support, so that will be +2. So that is a 4 to 1 +2. 4 to 1 +2 on the assault table. All right, let's roll it and find out what happens. Oh! Let's go check out the die roll because it went over here. That's a 9. 4 to 1 with a 9. That's what? Yeah, I think that's a assault. 4 to 1, 9. 9 star to S. So the Greeks fall. They didn't really have much of a chance unless the British wanted to heavily, the Commonwealth, keep calling them British, unless the Commonwealth wanted to heavily commit to them, and I just didn't see that happening. All these guys will go in there. He goes back there, and that's the end of that. And that will be the end of Greece. Okay, the Japanese, yep, I don't think they're doing anything because they basically can't do anything. They got like 3/4 of their army flipped over. The Italians, they can't even get an attack in. Okay, so we'll move to the Commonwealth. Alright, I'm going to run through the turn, and if something happens, I will stop at that point and film it, but right now I don't think too much is going to happen, so I'm just going to run through the turn at this point. Okay, I almost forgot about the Atlantic. I'm not going to just run through the turn. We're back to the fascists. The other roll was yet another 7. And we're going to do a search roll. The fascists are looking for a good search roll and a bad search roll for the Democrats. And so they can get a sub-action there and engage the convoys. Alright, the green die seems to blend in with the board somewhere, so I don't know where it went. So the white die will be the Commonwealth. So let's see what happens. Well, that's a decent roll for the, but it's a really good roll for the Commonwealth too. So again, they will decline combat. They don't want to get hosed with the ASW because the home fleet is there. And they don't really want to engage in surface combat with those. Where did this come from? All right. Oh, I don't know where he was. Right here. Okay. All right. So that's the end of the fascist turn. The Italians got nothing to do. They actually just move some units around. They're redeploying stuff. That's all they're doing. And that wraps that up. And the Japanese, yep, they look good. All right, roll to end the turn. I don't want to send counters everywhere. 4, nope. Democrats. China is good. Commonwealth is good. We'll just roll to end the turn. I need to find my green die. And the die roll is an 8. Show you that. So the turn does not end. We'll move on to the Soviets. And we'll roll to end the turn. Hey, you know what? I just rolled another 8. Love rolling 8s, roll 7s for weather, and 8s to end the turn. Maybe this will be another 30 impulse turn. Alright, now we're back to the fascists. We're going to roll weather. See what we get for weather. Wonder if it'll be an 8. Now it's a 2, which is fair weather everywhere. Yeah, this is going to drag on. Okay, back to the... I just found a green die. Back to the Atlantic. Let's see if we can get a good roll here. Want to kill some convoys. Fascists want to kill some convoys. That's a good roll. All right, I'm going to figure that out and see what we come up with. Okay, here we go. I calculated that the Germans have 9 surprise points total, and they'll use 4 to select the combat type, which would be a sub-combat. The Commonwealth has 6 ASW points, and the Germans have 10 sub-points. So, that being said, the Germans are going to use 4 surprise points to move the ASW column down 2. So that will be 2-3 against 4 subs. It's 2 aborts. So, the Commonwealth will choose first, and they'll abort this sub. No, they won't. And then I will choose this one, or this one. And that one will be aborted. So that one's going to get aborted. These 2 are actually face down. Doesn't matter. We got 10 surprise points. Well, no. We got 10 with 2 shifts. We got 10. I'm sorry. We got 10 sub points. He's got 8 to 11 total ships, counting the convoys as 1 ship for 3 factors. That's 1 sunk, 1 damaged. So we're going to sink 3 convoys. 3 convoys sunk, so we need a 7. Actually, let's just change this out. I don't know what that came from. Okay, there's 10. I'm going to sink 3. Let's see, the Commonwealth has a lot. And now the damage point, the Hobart, whatever this guy is, this Australian ship, the Hobart. Okay, can't get that right. He'll be damaged. We'll roll a die for that. And yes, he will indeed be damaged. So he's going to go to the repair pool. And that is probably it. We can roll to see if there will be another round. Have to choose a combat type. I don't think there's going to be anything. Well, that's a 1. 4, so that's okay. I'll calculate this. So the fascist got just enough surprise points. He's aborted. He goes away. I'll put him over here for now. To choose the combat type, sub-combat. So we now have 5 ASW points. They don't have enough surprise points to affect the combat. So they got 5 ASW. There are 3 subs. So that's going to be 1 damaged, 2 aborted. So the Commonwealth will pick this one for damage. We'll roll a die, see if he doesn't get damaged. He is indeed damaged. So he will go into the repair pool. I don't think there will be another round of combat after this. And then we have 2 aborted. This one, he's aborted. This one, he's aborted. They're both aborted, so it's not going to matter. We have 8 sub points. I think it's the same ship column, 8 to 11. Okay, we're going to sink 1 and damage 1. So we'll sink 3 convoys. And the British will pick the Fiji for damage. See if he saves. Got to roll better than a 7. He doesn't. He is also damaged. So that was a pretty atrocious battle in the Atlantic. All the subs are now aborted, and they're going to go back to port and hide there for the rest of the turn. But the Germans are very happy with killing 6 convoy points. It's basically 6 points of production that the Commonwealth won't get. That's it. All right, now we'll move on to, that's the fascists. We'll roll to end the turn. The 5 does not do it. Democrats. Oh, the Democrats not happy about this. This kind of sucks. Convoys got hosed. I think the British, the Commonwealth, are going to be moving their convoy points out of the Bay of Biscay and putting them into the North Atlantic in the Faroes Gap at this point. I think so. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't think they have anything to do. China's good. America, oh yeah, America's deploying something. The Americans added another division to the Philippines. I think they want to make the Philippines a real pain in the butt for Japan. I think that's it for the Democrats. And next up, we roll to see if the turn ends. Let's find out. Well, 9. Well, maybe we're going to have 30 impulses after all. Communists, I'm just going to run through the turn at this point. Don't really see anything else happening. So I'll come back with the results of the partisan roll and the war with Democrat rolls, and then I'll do the production and I'll show you that. Okay, we're on impulse number 19, and the weather is fair, and Germany's decided to do an air impulse, and they are going to bomb London. So we're going to send this for an escort. That's a bomber. We're going to do it right up here. It's a bomber. Yeah, that's better. It's a bomber stream, fighter stream. We'll put that in the fighter stream. That in the fighter stream. That thing in the fighter stream is probably going to have to go. That's going to be in the bomber stream. Bomber stream. That doesn't reach. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's all we got for bombers. Oh, I forgot this guy. Okay, and the Commonwealth will try to do something, but I think they're probably going to get shot down. But Hurricane 1s, yeah, we'll give it a go. At least the modifier will be the non-air combat thing will apply. Alright, so we got us an air combat. Alright, so the Commonwealth has 5.4 and the Germans have 7.3. So 7.7, I'm sorry. 7.7 to 5.4 is 2.7. It's going to be plus 3 minus 3. Alright, so the... Ugh, that's bad. Alright, the Commonwealth rolls first. Oh, that's a good roll. That's a 4. And minus 3. DX. Defender destroys own front fighter or front bomber. Oh, I made a mistake, but that's okay. So the front bomber is destroyed. The Dornier. He goes down in flames. The pilot does survive, so I will credit a pilot there. Now it's the turn of the fascist to roll. On the plus 3 column, 14. 14. Attacker abort. Attacker aborts. Defender's front fighter or front bomber. So we'll get rid of this guy. Don't think the Commonwealth is going to stick around anymore because they'll just get slaughtered. They're pretty happy they shot down a bomber. Now, we got some anti-aircraft. We got 9 points of flak here. Oh, just knocked all that over. I'll pick it up in a minute. Okay, 9 points of flak. Anti-air, 9. And we have 2 bombers. 9, 2 bombers. 4 dice, lowest of 1. Lowest 1 out of 4 die. The lowest is a 4. So that's going to abort. I think it's 1 point. I got to check that out. Okay, it doesn't do anything. They need to have at least 5. Because these are land bombers, not naval bombers. So we've got bombing the British. We have a total of 7 factors. And we roll a die. See what happens. Probably nothing. Yeah, 3 is bloop. 7, 3, yeah, we missed. Germans missed! Oh well. So that's going to be the end of that. Now we'll keep rolling through the turn, and if anything exciting happens again, I'll stop to record it. Okay, there ended up being no partisans. I did the U.S. entry rolls. There will be an increase in U.S. entry. Okay, so for production, we have Germany. Germany produced 32, started with 21, and spent 24. The Japanese produced 19, started with 7, spent 13. Italy produced 12, started with 8, spent 11. The USSR produced 14, started with 13, spent 13. The Commonwealth produced 14, started with 13, spent 24. They took a big loan from America. The U.S. Produced 18, started with 7, and spent 10. China produced 6, started with 6, and spent 6. And the Free French produced 1, started with 0, and spent 4. And that'll wrap this turn. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. I appreciate it. I also appreciate the comments. Thank you very much. And I will see you soon.